watching SGTV, Socially Good Television.
Okay, to start off, I would say that when a key element is missing, the landscape totally changes. It will never be what it was originally intended to be unless that key element is reintroduced, nor should it be. That's my thought of the major issue when it comes to manhood today. You can go into a room of 10 people and 10 of them have different ideas or definition of what it means to be a man. So when I think about manhood, I think about a few things, some things that I also share with my son who's 4 years old. I tell him two things, and I use it for myself. I say, Jonathan, listen and love. I think a man should be able to listen and should be able to love. And see, sometimes we think about love, we think it as touchy-feely and things like that, and so most guys don't want to get into that. But love is so much stronger than that. It's the most powerful force in the universe. You know, we say God is love. So if he is love, he is all power. It's so important for men to draw their power, their strength from him. So love, it suffers long and is patient and kind. So I think men, we should be able to suffer long. This should be our character, to be able to go through things, to endure, to persevere, and to be patient and kind at the same time. Whatever the adversity may be, whatever the situation may be, we should be able to be strong and stand in that, as well as release grace to others. I think men should be able to listen and love. And so when I think about love, I think that, you know, love bears up into everything. It believes all things. It hopes all things. It endures everything without weakening. That is a testament of a strong man. Someone that will stand when no one else stands. Someone that will go to bat when no one else will. And I think about my father. We have a great relationship to this day. My father was that pillar in the community. And so many people used to come to my house and they used to ask my dad about fixing something on their car, fixing something in the lawnmower, taking their bike to him. He would make some changes. He would show them what to do, or he would tell them where to go. And so I think of manhood in 4 stages or 4 pillars. And we call it B4N2. Sounds weird, but it's an easy acronym for me to understand that men should be missionaries to their families. They should be warriors for their loved ones, pillars in the community, and men who show love to the world. So when I talked to my son, Jonathan, I said, John, you know, the best thing that you can ever be is to be on a mission to improve, to encourage, to love, and to build up your own family. If I can go out and talk to 100 guys about what it means to be a man, but I can't go home and be a man to my wife, and be a man to my sons and my daughter who's on the way, then I'm not a man. So it doesn't matter as much what I do outside as much as I do inside my home. I think that's how we're going to spark true manhood. We're going to spark true manhood by teaching our sons what it means to be men. Teaching them how to love mom and how to treat her with respect. Teaching them how to listen so you can have their attention so they can be taught. And you can't teach someone anything if you don't get their attention. And so if I'm able to teach my sons what it means to be a man, I'm able to teach them how to love. I'm able to teach them how to listen. I'm able to teach them, you know, to stand up and to war and to go to bat for those that can't go to bat for themselves. You know, Dr. King also said that. He said that pretty much the worst thing that could ever happen is for good people to do nothing. And I think in our society today, in our culture, you see a lot of men who have much potential to do great things, but they do nothing. And they do nothing because they haven't had anyone to walk with them. That's another thing I think about when it comes to manhood. We're always telling someone what to do. You know, we teach a lot of principles, and principles are great. There's a saying that goes, principles perpetuate patterns. But at the same time, if you don't have presence of someone else to show you how to do things, you won't know what to do. I can tell you what to do, and I can tell you how to bake a cake. But if you've missed one of those key ingredients, it's going to be totally changed. It's like the saying that we said earlier. If a key element is missing, the landscape totally changes. We think about the family. The family is so desecrated today because men have been missing. Back in the 1960s, over 90% of all homes in America were 2-parent homes, both dad and mom. Today, less than 20% of all homes are 2-parent homes, dad and mom. 24 million kids go home every single day to a single-parent home. 83% is just mom only. So what does that say? Dad's not there. What does that say? Not just dad, but manhood. See, if you're not a man, you're not going to be able to be a good dad. And good dads produce good sons who become good men, who become good dads, who produce more good sons who become good men, and on and on and on. In our culture, we miss that. So going back to it, listening and loving and having someone to walk with you. So when I look at manhood, I look at, this is my opportunity. It's my opportunity to not just teach my son or teach the next man, but to model it, to stand with him when no one else will. My dad showed us a lot of things, which I know a lot of guys that I've spoken to don't really know how to do. But I get the opportunity to show them as well. And I think that's what men should do. We should step in there and we should show someone what to do when they don't know what to do. Instead of say, hey, don't you know what it means to be a man? No. I think that's the thing. No, we don't know what it means to be a man. We can ask a lot of people and we have different definitions. And if you don't know the definition of a thing, you're going to abuse it every single time. I feel like our men today are struggling with understanding who they are and whose they are. And because they don't really understand their own identity as a man, they're just going on every single path they can take to get there. Let's face it, there's no man that just wants to be a deadbeat dad. There's no man that doesn't want to provide or protect their family. But at the same time, there's been generations in our culture that's had no one there to protect, to provide, to show that way. And because that's not there, then they grow up without that key element. And again, if it's not there, everything changes. So we got to reintroduce manhood. To reintroduce manhood, we got to do an injection. We got to take the men like that are going to be on this video, men that we see every single day, continue to encourage them that they still have something to give, something to offer. You know, when you think about manhood, I think that you should always look to be an initiator, one that's impactful, and one that's caring. Men are like thermostats. We always level the playing field. I don't think sometimes we recognize how much authority and power that we possess. For instance, a man comes into a room full of kids, the room stops, and all the kids focus on that one man because he carries a certain level of apostolic mantle, sets things in order. So as a man is an initiator and impactful, and as a man is like a thermostat, hey, if things are hot inside the house, he cools it down. If things are cool, he brings it up. And so men should always look to see what's inside of them, identify where they're at, open themselves up to have some other man to walk with them. You know, I'm 33 years old. I don't know it all. I don't claim to know it all. But one thing I do know, it's important for me to listen so I can know which way to go. It's important for me as a man to show love. In our communities today, there's no men that are there to stand up. You know, when things are tough, you know, who's going to stand for the community? Who's going to stand for the family? Who's going to stand for the church? Who's going to stand for today's culture? If we're going to impact the culture, if we're going to impact teenagers, college students, older men, if we're going to impact them with a level and understanding of what it means to be a man, we got to be able to stand up. We got to stand up and say, hey, this is what it means. Hey, you may not get it right, but guess what? We're going to help you and we're going to walk with you all the way through. I think about in Proverbs, Solomon said this multiple times, or David said it, Solomon said, my son, my son. So I think about Jonathan and Judah and my newest coming away, Johanna. I said, you know, I'm going to sit down and say, hey, my son, if you just listen to these instructions, if you just listen and have your heart engaged towards me because you love me, I can help you become the man that you're supposed to be, that you've been designed to be, and to do the things that you've been destined to do. That is so important because men have the opportunity to lead families, they have the opportunity to lead churches, communities, and whole cultures. And we can transform the landscape of our culture when we reintroduce manhood.
Thank you for watching SGTV, Socially Good Television. Visit sociallygoodtv.com and remember to share this video.